Good evening and welcome to the Pioneer Valley Regional School Committee meeting. This is Thursday, July 16th, and I am calling the meeting to order at 6:03. We do have a member that is remote, so we need to do a roll call.
Stephanie Arroyo here.
Raina Dastu, present.
Frank Ribeiro, present.
Stephen Martin, present. And hi, Sharon.
Sharon?
Sharon Fontaine, present.
Melissa Gary, present. Thank you. And I also just want to give a warm welcome to Diana Noble, who is here filling in for Brian Snell as our Warwick representative tonight. So thank you for coming and joining us. All right. First on the agenda is citizens' comments. Seeing none, the second agenda item is the introduction of Director of Student Services finalist Sarah Crawford.
So welcome, Sarah. Sarah Crawford is a very experienced educator and administrator who has graciously applied and gone through a good process for our interview, and the committee has moved forward to recommend her as a finalist candidate. So Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'd like to start by saying thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure to see all of your faces and meet you in person. I want to actually also give a special thank you to the search committee. The past 2 weeks have been kind of a whirlwind between working and life and all the things, but it was just such a pleasure to meet everyone on the committee, to get the opportunity to spend time in the buildings, to ask questions, to hear about the district, and I'm just really excited to be here. I also just want to add that I've spent the better part of my life in the farm communities. I grew up in Coleraine and also southern Vermont, so it's exciting to kind of think about, how far I've come and the idea of, returning to a district that is also in a farm community. Very passionate about special education. I started working in special education when I was 18. And it evolved from there to where I am today. I really believe that the kids need us, right? And it took me a while to realize that I needed to expand in my skill set so that I could not only help just a small pocket of children, but to be able to help many kids and staff and families and such as that. So very excited to be here, and that's just a little bit about me.
Great. Thank you.
Do any of the committee, Sarah's CV is in our packets, and you've all had a chance to review it, hopefully beforehand. And does anyone have any questions for Sarah?
Who were the committee members who's on this committee for selection?
Yeah, please. I don't have the
So
list.
Vice Chair Ms. Dastu and I co-chaired the committee. Participating were Pioneer Valley Regional School Principal Annie Scanlon-Amy, Bernardston Elementary School Principal Sarah Burstein, Special Education Teacher in the Essential Skills Program up here at Pioneer Danielle Denenfeld, Physical Therapist for the entire district, Christy Martineau, Melissa Peliquin, who is an Instructional Assistant at Bernardston Elementary School, as well as the President of the Support Personnel Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a complete committee.
Yeah, it's a good group.
For welcome. We're so grateful for you to become part of the district, and just want to commend both yourself and the committee. It's been just sort of a continued streak of good experiences for applicants, and that makes a great deal to all of us. So
Thank you.
grateful that you're here,
Appreciate
and thanks for the subcommittee.
I do know. So I'm going to do a little tooting of Sarah's horn for her. So it was a good process, and thank you, Steve. We do run a nice search, and we get that feedback from candidates, including folks who aren't selected, frequently. What came through during Ms. Crawford's multiple interviews and during her visits to our extended school year programs. Mrs. Scanlon-Amy and Mrs. Burstein took her to see the elementary extended school year program at Northfield and the program here in Pioneer. And in conversations with current and former colleagues of Ms. Crawford's, what came through repeatedly was her ability to connect with students of different ages, her fierce commitment to ensuring that all students, and in particular students with special needs, have equal access to educational opportunity. And I know that's something that we all value, and I'm very excited about the possibility of having an experienced administrator who knows how to make that equity real for students. Her ability to get in there with people and collaborate with teams and tackling thorny, challenging issues, and her ability to engage with students and families when talking about plans for students. And we actually have some firsthand experience of staff here because our team collaborates. Ms. Crawford, as you know, is currently in the Greenfield Public Schools as the Assistant Director for Pupil Services. And our team has been able to engage with her outside of this process, and folks came back saying, wow, that Crawford lady, she really, we saw her do stuff with this family, and this, she was really good. I want you to know that that came through in your interviews and conversations and visits, and then when we were talking with prior and current colleagues. So we're very excited about this prospect. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we are going to continue on with our meeting.
Okay.
Feel free to head out or stay.
Okay.
It is up to you.
Again, thank you all for your time, and I also just want to add at the end, appreciate that Patricia, Raina, and Patricia have been just wonderful, and again, their leadership in the process was just fluid and wonderful, and I'm really excited.
Great.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so on to reports. Chair report. I don't really have one, actually. I'm trying to think if there's anything, but I don't. So, Superintendent?
Sure. I'll be super brief. Okay, you've probably seen that the governor came out with an announcement I certainly was not anticipating. The governor is filing supplemental legislation to seek an unanticipated $100 million for education from the Fair Share tax revenues. Were that to go through in its current form, all districts would receive $112 per student extra. So for us, that would be an unanticipated almost $60,000. So I'll keep my fingers crossed that this particular proposal makes it through the legislative process. There have been some changes just at the end of the school year and going into the summer from DESE. So we've got our eye on things. More to come in the fall. One of those is going to come out later when we talk about the strategic plan. There are some changes proposed to MCAS. There are changes proposed to the seclusion regulations. And we, of course, will, Raina, we're going to have to do a little policy action on that. We're in very good shape. We don't do seclusion. So just want you to know you'll be hearing from us about some late-breaking changes from the department. And then today, Ms. Bassett Fox and I received an email whose subject line is Proud Mom Moment. Cheryl Brown, our wonderful Director of Food Services, has a daughter who just graduated, and Elizabeth Brown is going to be featured in the Brattleboro Reformer and the Vernon Newsletter because she's working for the rec department, and the Vermont League of Cities and Towns is awarding Elizabeth Brown a lifeguard and rising college sophomore, so she's graduated at the University of Vermont with the 2026 VLCT Municipal Service Scholarship. And I think this picture shows a $2,000 big check for our PVRS alumnus. So good on you, Elizabeth. There you go.
Great.
I'll end my report with that.
Thank you. Okay, so we are going to jump right into business. So our first agenda item is disposal of surplus property.
Well, the photo in the last memo about disposing and cleaning up seemed to be a hit. I was going to take, wasn't I going to take you, Miss Gary? I did not take Miss Gary on a field trip to the dungeon, but anybody else? Let's go to the dungeon. So this is a twofer. We are seeking permission to dispose of outdated and broken office furniture. There are a couple of teacher desks in there with the office furniture. This is an interesting, there are so many filing cabinets in the building that are no longer needed because so many materials have gone digital and they're taking up tons of space and they're perfect for the scrap metal recycler. We would love to free up that space, and one idea we have is that the locations, it's like a graveyard of file cabinet. You know, they're just chock-a-block in these rooms. And, those spaces would actually be really good for storing science materials, including materials that teachers need access to, but not daily access. So we are seeking approval, and you have a spreadsheet linked in this memo that shows exactly how many chairs, desks, filing cabinets we would like to dispose of, and then e-waste. Now that picture is of one of our modulars, and there are a number of devices, and again, there is another spreadsheet from Director of Technology Chris Fontaine where he gives specific numbers and types of devices. So a lot of the devices are completely obsolete, and it is an unfortunate planned obsolescence where manufacturers make it hard or impossible to update devices, and we all know that story. So we're and for folks who haven't been around, back to the time when the Franklin Regional Council of Governments has a solid waste program. And we, a few times, were able to have that solid waste program come and pick up our e-waste for free. That's great. They're not doing it anymore. So there is some cost to us. We can afford the cost. We got to get rid of these materials. And when devices that have data on them go out, the vendor has to sign a certificate saying, we've shredded it. It's not possible that anybody would physically be able to grab the data from this device. So you can be assured that no district, school, family data, employee data would be taken from the devices that we would like to dispose of.
Great.
Can I just clarify that Amy Donovan is at Franklin County Solid Waste District?
Which is a program of FERCog.
Okay, because she's like the be-all and end-all.
She is the be-all and end-all. We love her work.
Yes.
That is a project of FERCog.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would accept a motion to approve the disposal of surplus property from the PVRS campus as presented.
So moved.
Sharon moved and Stephanie seconded. Any discussion?
I just have one question about, wouldn't it be I guess it's more of a statement. Wouldn't it be lovely if any of the manufacturers would accept some of these items in exchange for, a discount for purchasing new items? I mean, I feel like Apple there's a lot of Apple products on that list.
Take a ton of e-waste, but they don't give you a certificate. I can almost guarantee it. Because I've dismantled a number
Yes.
of
It would be really nice if Apple, I mean,
to drop it there for free.
Yes.
so,
That's an excellent question.
yeah,
I
That's
think
not
it's
part of the
worth
business
looking
model.
into.
right.
You have designs on how you're going to use the buildings once they're empty? Or,
The modulars.
yeah,
I predict that we will find that those modulars are not usable. The air quality is horrendous. In my first year, I took a picture of a mushroom growing up through the carpet of one of the modulars. I hold my breath and regret every time that one of our staff has to go into the basement of one of the modulars to get paper records that might be 50 or 60 years old. So at some point, we have to deal with the modulars.
I guess that was my question.
Yeah. Was that okay? Yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, let's vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Stephen Martin, yes.
Karen Fontaine, yes?
And Melissa Gary, yes. Great.
Thank you.
Is there a certain order?
Yes. Yep. And then the next one will be.
No, I
the-
mean to say, in terms of who says yes.
Oh, no, we typically just go around the
Oh, I
horn
see.
and then, yep,
All right,
Yep,
I
there
know
it-
my space now.
yep.
All right,
Yeah, but Mr. Ribeiro, we might put you at a different place.
that's,
So
you know,
you
I'll have to adapt. I-
Right. But
Each
yes.
time I'm going to have
But
to
you'll
sort
be
of like,
labeled,
you
so
know,
you'll be able to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you can call me Frank, by the way.
Right.
but,
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
was looking over my shoulder to see if he was here.
Yeah, right.
Right, yeah. Okay, so annual report, cost of SRO, SEL support personnel.
This is, as you know, an annual report. I sent the data to Desi yesterday, I think. We are required to report on the amount of our budget that we spend on a school resource officer and how many people we have in social emotional support roles and the budget for those roles. And we do need to be reporting on some very specific discipline data. So here we go. The district does not employ an SRO, so the budget for that is 0 for FY27. The state provides a very specific list of personnel that qualify or that are for whom we are required to report, and that includes school adjustment counselors, school psychologists, school counselors, school nurses, and in the school nurses, they are careful to say both sort of general school nurses and special education school nurses, and the district nurse leader. So we have given you the number of staff in each role. And the total salary for FY27 for these personnel is $882,603. And as we have shared in previous years, the district supports personnel in these categories at rates that far exceed the national organization recommendations. For example, the American School Counselor Association recommends a school counselor-student ratio of 1 counselor for every 250 students, and we are more than twice as good. We have 1 counselor for every 113 students. The National Association of School Psychologists has a recommended ratio of 1 psychologist for every 500 students, and you, school committee, approve a budget that supports 1 school psychologist for every 281 students. The American School Nurse Association does not publish a ratio. They have some I would say apt language, saying that rather than publish a ratio, they want everybody looking at the needs of specific school populations. They do want a full-time nurse in every building. We have more than 1 full-time nurse proportionately across. And then the school discipline data, there are 3 types of numbers the state is looking for. We report these numbers in the SSDR School Safety and Data Report, which Ms. Dottie Bocon manages. And the 3 measures are school-based arrests. We have not had any in the past year. Citations, we have not had any. Court referrals, we have made 3 court referrals, and those are called, they are a CRA, Child Requiring Assistance. I think the court accepted only 1 of them, or moved forward on only 1 of them. So you do not need to take any action. I am, of course, happy to answer any questions.
I have a question of what a citation would be. What is a citation?
Not clear, but when we looked into our data, we didn't have one that had been logged for the whole year.
Okay, all right. Great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so Warwick tuition agreement, request to engage legal counsel.
Yes, I did not give you a memo for this one. We've been working with Miss Noble and her team. We are so close, so close to an agreement. And I believe that it would be wise for the committee to have an attorney review the proposed draft agreement. There are only a couple of places where there are really changes of note. Most of it is just cleanup and language. But a couple of places. I reached out to Joseph Bartulis. Mr. Bartulis is the attorney who represented the district when we were engaged in the Warwick transition process. The reason we need to go to an outside attorney is because the Dupree law offices have a small contract with the town of Warwick to do some work for Warwick, so it would be a conflict of interest. Mr. Bartulis, we enjoyed working with him. He did a fine job. Their typical rate is just under $500 an hour. However, for public sector work, their rate is about $260 an hour. So I would be seeking, I would request that school committee consider a motion to authorize the chair to sign a letter of engagement with Mr. Bartulis and his law firm with a cap of $2,000. I don't think we'll need anything close to $2,000, but I'd rather have you, we have the funds to do this. But we would need school committee to approve that before we could speak with him.
Okay. So I would accept a motion to allow the chair of the school committee to engage in legal counsel from Mr. Bartulis with a cap of $2,000.
So moved.
Okay. Sharon moved it.
I'll second it.
Raina seconds. Any discussion? Okay, great.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Steve Martin, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes.
Oh, thank you. We're going to get it over the finish line. We're going to, and Stephanie, thank you for all your leadership in this process. The subcommittee's been terrific. Tenacious and terrific. Sharon, thank you.
Okay, so something that we have talked about in the past, but the Education Finance Services LLC will talk about the appointment as the district treasurer and also contract to complete excess and deficiency submission to the state. So,
Okay. School committee, you have 2 memos in front of you. Well, let's take this in pieces. And for our folks at home, for the viewers at home, Ms. Cami Lemica has been serving as the district treasurer since January 2025. She's excellent in her work. Mr. Ribeiro, she was formerly the district's fiscal overseer appointed by the state. She is kind of a queen utility player for the state in that when districts need help, Ms. Lemica is one of the people they turn to. She has decades of experience in municipal finance and school finance. She's been working as our district treasurer. She has formed her own company, Education Finance Services LLC. She notified the district some months ago that she was going to stop doing these private contract, working on her own. She kindly rescinded her resignation when we needed her to stay on for some more months. We appreciated that. So we need a new district treasurer because she won't be there. We sought legal guidance. We appropriately posted the district treasurer position. We had some applicants. The applicants did not have the experience that we would need. Education Finance Services put forward a proposal, and that proposal is not in Ms. Lamica's name. We asked Ms. Lamica to contact the State Ethics Commission to make sure we're all square, good, whatever the geometric thing is. The State Ethics, we also consulted with Jay Sullivan and his team. He's the Associate Commissioner for Finance at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. They're good with it. Not a problem. The State Ethics Commission, Ms. Lamica contacted them at our request, said, it's good. However, because Ms. Lamica is still an employee of the district, she should not be the person putting forward the proposal, and she shouldn't sign the eventual contract should you approve a contract with Education Finance Services, because she is considered, her status. It is called, she has key employee status as the district treasurer, and she will continue to have that status because should the school committee approve this contract, Ms. Lamica would remain the signatory at the bank for us, and our insurance company would continue to bond Ms. Lamica. So that all stays the same. So we posted for a district treasurer. So happy to get applications, and it was clear that the applicants weren't not for us. Education Finance Services LLC has put forward a proposal. You have that proposal. The proposal includes all of the work that is covered by the job description that you approved for the district treasurer. There is one bullet point in that job description not included in their proposal, and that job description is a publicly available document. You approved it in open session, and that is the last bullet that says, and anything else the superintendent says that they want the treasurer to do. So that would not be appropriate for a proposal from a firm, with a very defined, et cetera. So after all this, Cami and I as district administrators, Melissa was co-chairing with me this looking for candidates. We think it would make sense to hire Ms. Lamica's new firm. Ms. Lamica would resign. She sent us a resignation letter effective tomorrow. We have, in looking at candidates and talking, think it makes sense. Desi is fine with it. and the State Ethics Commission was fine with it, especially since we had them send us a new proposal that does not include Ms. Lamika's name anywhere. Happy to answer your questions.
So we have two charges in front of us. One of us is to accept the resignation of Ms. Lamika, and then the second is if we are to approve Education Finance Services as our next treasurer. So I will do the first one. Well, I'll do both, but to accept Ms. Lamika's resignation as district treasurer and to appoint Education Finance Services LLC as district treasurer effective 7/17,
And to
Yep.
accept the contract as presented.
and to appoint as
This is going to be one motion? I thought you were going to divide it.
I'm going to divide this
Great,
into two.
great.
I'm going to divide this into two. So the first motion is to accept Ms. Lamika's resignation as district treasurer effective 7/17. Okay, so Frank moved it.
Second.
Stephen seconded. Okay, vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Stephen Martin, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes. Okay, and then our second motion is to appoint the Education Finance Services as the district treasurer effective 7/17 and to accept the contract as written.
So moved.
I have a question.
Yeah, we'll do discussion
okay.
after. Yep, so move. Okay, so Sharon moved it.
Seconded.
Stephanie seconded. And discussion. Yes.
I just, when is this billable, when does that kick in? How does it kick in? Does it need approval, or is it, it'll come at the end of a month and say we worked X hours over? Is that, I mean, I just can't, I can read that, but I just wanted somebody
It
to,
would be invoiced monthly.
oh,
And
okay.
as a public entity, we don't pay for things in advance. So,
Right.
so they send us an invoice
Yeah,
for the prior month's work. It goes through the business office, Taffy's office, I sign off, I review it, and then I would sign off.
and so is it, let's say at the end of 10 months, they've exhausted the initial 16,000, and then everything else is based on an hourly rate? I mean, I guess that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at.
So if you're approving this 16,800, we would not sign something beyond that. We would come to school committee and seek approval to go.
Or the 125 per hour?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I
I'm
want
not-
to know.
Yes.
Yeah. we
And the
would-
same is true of the other contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you say 16.8, we're going to stick with that. We're going to come to you and
And
say,
we need more.
there's a
based
legitimate
on-
reason why.
I see. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
excellent.
Great, but thank you.
And I think it does specify for work performed outside of the scope of the treasurer position, so.
And
Things
approved
that
by
are
the superintendent in
inappropriate.
writing prior, but given that you signed this contract, I don't feel comfortable approving something beyond this contract.
Right.
And I feel like I would want to, that's what they put, but I'd bring it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Sharon.
I'd like to thank Cammie for her dedication.
Yeah.
It really helped us out.
You're here.
Yep, absolutely, Sharon. Yes, thank you, Cammie.
Thank you, Cammie.
Yeah,
Thank you, Cammie.
for everything,
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
All the time.
Okay, I will take a roll call vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes?
Stephen Martin, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so here is the long-awaited, what?
The second contract.
Oh, sorry, in the second contract, sorry. Okay. We'll still have to wait longer for the long-awaited. Sorry. So contract with the Education Finance Services to complete E&D submission.
Taffy, I'll start, but will you please chime in?
Absolutely.
Okay, E&D stands for excess and deficiency. In municipal terms, in Massachusetts, for towns and cities, it's equivalent to free cash. For the regional district, it's E&D. Miss Lamika has been helping the district with its annual E&D submission in the summer for the past several years. She really, really tutored our former finance person, Jordan Burns, in this. We would like her continued help. So I see this as a twofer. First, we are assured that our E&D submission, which is one of the largest annual financial tasks in the director's yearly calendar. And secondly, this is an opportunity for the Education Finance Services, LLC, for the firm, to continue training Ms. Bassett-Fox in her new role as Director of Finance and Operations. The goal would be that maybe not next year, but I hope that by the year after, so 2 years from now, Ms. Bassett-Fox would not need that type of assistance, and she could do the E&D submission on her own. I have seen how stressful it can be when a district doesn't get its E&D submission in. We just don't want to be there. We want to continue our strong practice of meeting state requirements. So we have the money. We have a fund. The amount of money set aside, tell me if I have this right, for our current fiscal overseer is $10,000. We're not going to use nearly that much, so we can take the money from there.
Yes.
What else?
Well, I just, having gone through E&D, I think I was here for a month when I went through E&D with Cammie. So grateful that she walked me through it, and I would not feel 100% ready to do it on my own without her by my side. It wouldn't be fair to the district.
Okay. All right. So I will move a motion and then we'll have discussion. So to accept the proposal from Education Finance Services, LLC, to complete the district's FY26 excess and deficiency submission to the state.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And questions and discussion?
This is a yearly contract that needs to be renewed, or how does that work? Even the other one? You know what I'm saying?
The district treasurer, so previously, when we appointed a person as district treasurer, that was a hire. That was a hire.
This is a similar format? you're saying?
That's a great question. You know, I hadn't contemplated, when it was a hire, we would not need to come back to you
Sure.
every year
Right,
and to
right.
reseek it. I think given it's a year-long contract, we're going to have to come back to you
Right,
because
that's-
it's a year-long contract.
And it might be at the same time, if you need more money or something, that would be a good time to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, and again, would you need it another year, you know, with the training going so well, maybe you didn't.
Oh, the E&D?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
that sort of thing, so
Right.
it makes sense. Okay, that's great.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Stephen Martin, yes.
I just
Sharon
love doing
Fontaine,
that.
yes, and again, thank you to Cammie.
Yes.
Well
Yes.
said, Sharon.
And Melissa Gary, yes. Okay. Now for the long-awaited.
All right.
Finally, we have to present to you the district strategic plan. So,
Oh.
We don't have to vote on Sarah Crawford or that?
we will later. So
Oh, I
we're going to
see.
go into executive session and discuss
Okay.
contractual parts of it, and then we'll come back out and make
Make
a
it
vote.
easy to do that, okay.
Yes.
There's a reason for your madness, I just,
Yes.
I
Yep.
know they didn't forget it, I just must have missed
Go
something.
down at the bottom
No.
of the agenda. It is an odd structure. You'll see after the executive session, there's another business.
So I don't read that, okay.
That's
All right.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What we try to do is whenever we have a visitor, we bring them to the very forefront.
Yeah.
And so they can head out.
Sure.
And then we do our business. And then if we need to
Have
discuss
a-
anything in executive
That's
session.
other business.
Yep, we'll do that and then come back. Yep,
Okay.
no problem. Okay, so district strategic plan. So I'm just gonna give a little.
Yeah, please do.
Background. So for a couple of years now, our district has not had a strategic plan, and that was strategic. There was a lot of business that needed to be cleaned up and administratively looked at, that we paused as a school committee on the strategic plan because it takes so much joint effort between administration, the community, and school committee. And so this year, what we did is we brought it to the forefront. I was on the district strategic plan, along with how many? Yeah, Stephanie Arroyo. Yep,
Melissa
and
Ross.
Melissa Ross.
I have
And-
their names up here.
But
Maybe
about
15,
how many?
20
15, 20 people
Yeah.
from the the community, staff, administrators, school committee members. So we had a good assortment of voices and perspectives on this plan. So what we're going to do tonight is present it to you. And then next meeting, we're actually going to have a vote and see if we are going to adopt the strategic plan. So, would you like to start the presentation?
Sure, and you will please
Yes.
chime in, you will please chime in.
Yes.
As members of the planning team. And so I want to take you, school committee and folks at home, on a little bit of a journey. So what I want to do is tell you the story.
Are you able to share your?
Am I able to share this? Yes, I
in
am.
the
Let's
meeting?
go, no, let's go here. Why am I not? Oh, here. Here. No, I actually want to do the entire screen because I'm going to be jumping around. All right. Sharon, you can see it okay?
Yes, thank you.
So I want to tell you a bit more. Thank you, Melissa, for that excellent introduction about the process and timeline and our thinking that has changed over time, how the community participated, and then I'm going to share three. We're going minimalist. We're proposing 3 strategic objectives, and I feel really good about them, about the idea of just 3. Let's do something that is shoot high, but have it be realistic, and let's have them be objectives that actually move our kids and our teachers and our families forward. So I'm going to talk to you about the timeline. We selected a consultant, school committee, you authorized that. Who's on the planning team? We did a community survey almost a year ago. I want to talk with you about the themes that emerged from that. We looked at just 3 key data sets and what came out from that review, and then just share the draft outcomes. I don't have fully fledged initiatives for each of the outcomes. I'll bring that back after you've given me some feedback here. So this process is actually close to 2 years old, because as you were mentioning, the school committee said pause. I think 2 years ago in the fall, you directed me to come up with a plan, and I did. And you said, yeah, that's a lot. No, thank you. We have elections coming up. You said we have elections. We're going to wait till we have new school committee members. Then we're going to tackle this. And then when we brought it back, there was a committee, and we put it out for quotes. We talked with people. You were on that committee. And we selected the Collaborative for Educational Services down in Northampton. And we worked with Albert Johnson-Moussaud, and he came to you last summer and presented you, school committee, with I thought an impressive overview of what he was proposing for the process and how we would work collaboratively and what the outcomes would be. So I felt good about that. Our planning team, I'll show you their names. Let me go here. These 5 points that are up on the screen, I'm showing them now, but these came from the administrative team this spring. Yeah. So this was, while we had, I think, a strong outline, and we shared with you what the proposed process was last year. As our hands were getting dirty doing the work, we kind of said, wait a minute. So what are the characteristics or criteria, or what really do we want out of a plan? Agnostic regarding the content. What should a plan do for us? And so we thought it should be appropriately ambitious, right? We're not looking to do this. Let's shoot high, just like we want teachers and kids to shoot high. And it should be realistic and in alignment with capacity. And therein will be the part of the story where we went from 3 proposed objectives, 5 down to 3. Mm-hmm. We said, yeah, those are awesome, but let's face it, we're not going to have a director of teaching and learning next year. Taffy's in her 2nd year. No. Let's, in alignment with capacity, obviously, the plan should help us improve student learning. That's what we are about. And kids can't learn unless they feel safe. So embedded in the notion of any academic achievement is an understanding that kids need to come to school all the time. Like attendance has got to be good. The classroom vibe has got to be good. They have to feel safe because, right, biochemically, we don't learn as human beings if we're all stressed out. Our plan should communicate the district priorities. So when a layperson is reading the plan, they get a sense of what our values are as a community. And this plan should strengthen our bonds with our larger pioneer community, right? I'm going to pause there and seek your thoughts, your feedback when you hear those 5, I'm not sure what to call them, 5 thoughts about what we hope for in a plan.
Yeah, are you doing a timeline slide?
No.
Okay,
I was gonna
so
talk
I
about it.
think, yes, so I would just say, with the content of this plan being ambitious, this goes from 2026 to 2031.
Oh, yeah.
So there is going to be a time frame, 5 years, of implementing these goals. And so, or not the goals, but the plan. So being appropriately ambitious and looking at capacity and everything, it's a 5-year plan that we're going to be working on these 3 goals. So just to kind of put some
Thank you.
context.
Thank you.
5 goals.
My response is that those are nice headings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the specifics
Yeah.
Yes,
that fill it up
that's what,
and
yeah.
give it value. I mean, that's wonderful. I think that
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
Well, I just,
Yeah.
it's how you go beyond these statements that really are going to be impactful. Because if, anybody's been around, obviously, well, oh, that was a nice story they told, but there's no follow-up or follow-through.
That's right.
And I think that's
Exactly.
the issue. I mean,
That's
Agreed.
right.
I agree
I mean,
100%,
so, I mean,
Frank.
that's a great way to start,
Yeah.
but again, I'm being too much of a cynic and
No.
and thinking that there's hard work to move beyond this. I mean, every institution has some kind of master plan, so-called. I just don't see this any different.
Yeah.
And who reads it after you've got it done? A lot of hard work goes into it. But,
Right.
And you're caught up in the day-to-day action of, what it is to run the facility. And you hope you're abiding by all that. That's your
Yeah.
intention. I think the spirit of it is important to speak that out, and maybe that's what all you yell and scream about and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Remember? That's what it's all about.
That's right.
And how you actually do that is going to change year to year, moment to moment, situational. I can say. It's not, it might be saying the obvious, but I get, when I get involved in something, I get sort of tired of having to develop, or I feel it's like almost, develop something like this, and then we don't really pay attention to
Yeah.
it. And I think the essence is to stay with it, make it your Bible, make it
That's right.
part
Absolutely.
of who you
That's
are.
right.
And it's the personnel that make that work. It's
Yeah.
the culture of the facility, of
Yeah.
the whatever
Yeah.
institution it is.
Yeah.
And those are hard to recreate or create to begin
Right.
with and maintain. So I guess that's what I can say to that. And
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. Are you talking about CES at all in their role?
About Albert's
About
role?
Albert's role?
Yeah. Do you want to talk? Do you want to?
Well, I can wait. I don't want to. Jump the gun.
Why don't we talk about it here? 'Cause
Yeah,
here's the planning team members. So we've,
Yeah.
we've listed for you up here. So Melissa, that should say Ross now. I pulled that from an older document. Stephanie, Melissa, Gary co-chaired it. We had a couple of administrators. We had faculty. We had parents and guardians. You can see up Anna Bassett, Lucy Demkohler, Caitlin Anderson, Melissa Furnett, and Tara Stone. And each of the towns was invited to send a representative. Jeff Baker came down from Leiden. Jane Dutcher came to the first meeting for Bernardston, but Karen Kelly was really the representative, so Karen couldn't attend the first one, so Jane stepped in. And then Morgan O'Brien came from Northfield. She's a member of the Northfield Finance Committee. She's also a parent over at NES. Albert Johnson Musad was our consultant, and
Yeah. So, kind of what you were getting at, Frank, about, we've got these grand plans and how do we do this, right? So we had this community survey with over 400,
ended up with 250 usable responses.
250 usable responses. There were some non-usable. And so all that information had to get distilled. And so what we decided to do as a school committee is hire a consultant to guide us through all of this work. And so Albert Johnson Masad really was the one who helped us distill all the information, ran all the meetings, and helped us get to the main points. So his work was really beneficial for the whole team to not get bogged down in the weeds. And so you'll see some of this stuff that, if you can imagine, we having 250 surveys, you have 250 opinions on how our district should run. And so finding themes and getting so you've got all the surveys, and then you have 15 to 20 members who also have their own ideas and thoughts on how the district should run. We were able to distill into 3. And that's what we are going to use if it's approved and adopted by the committee to help with superintendent goals and evaluation, and also with our own school committee goals and evaluation. So this will be the leading document that will kind of be the golden standard for what we want our district to improve on in the next 5 years.
yeah,
Would you
great.
say that? Yeah.
Albert did a nice job. He was an active, he really did shape things,
Yeah.
and he moved us along. This was a positive committee in that there was very little perseverating. It was really good. I've been part of strategic planning committees that are deadly, and people are up in arms about the placement of the comma. And this group didn't do that, and Albert moved us along.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Okay, so as Melissa mentioned, last fall, we put out a community survey. At first, we thought we had over 400 responses. We used a platform we hadn't used before. Albert designed the survey for us, and it turned out that all kinds of people were opening up the survey, and it looked like there was a response, but they didn't press submit. They left things blank, and so we had about 250 usable responses. Melissa, we kept those under wraps until the survey was over, and then Melissa came in, and we opened them up together. There were maybe 4 or 5 survey responses that we did not share with the committee. Albert reviewed them and felt that they weren't appropriate to be putting forward. They were.
This survey went out to students and staff and community members. So we got a wide variety of opinions.
Yeah.
From
It was great.
levels. Yeah.
So the survey, it was set up as, I would say, a qualitative survey. It was not quantitative. It had 3 questions, and some folks didn't feel great about the setup, and I hear that. I might not have designed the survey the way it was designed, and we trusted Albert, and it's all good. We got tons of good information. So the first question was, look back to today, and that was 2025. Imagine it's 2030, 5 years from now. What is the school, what does the district look like? Tell us about that. And then the second question was, look back to 2025 from the vantage, the first one was, look to 2030, 5 years from now, pretend you're in 2030, what do things look like? Second question, now, pretend you're in 2030 and look back at 2025, what were things like then? That was a good opening for people to express their feelings about what they think and feel is happening here. And then, keep looking back, pretend you're in 2030, look back at 2025. How did we get from 2025 to where we are now in 2030? What kinds of things did the district do to move ourselves forward to where we are right now? All right. So I'm going to show you first what it looked like. So it was, this is one set. This is one set of survey responses. right? And so every single, they were anonymous, every single survey respondent's answers were viewed by multiple people. Multiple people. So both the planning team and the administrative team. So everybody was heard, absolutely. And what we did was we sorted them into groups. So a group, this is the set of survey responses from current employees, right? And, you know, answer. Because we are Pioneer, our beautiful rural small community, many survey respondents are not both, they're employees and their parents and their former students. And so we just picked one category for each. So we had a set for current employees, other, including people on the planning team, for residents of our towns who are not members, former students weighed in, current students. The largest grouping with families of former students, the families of current students. I think this is 18 ledger-sized pages of responses from these folks. So we broke into groups. Stephanie, I don't know if you want to say anything, or Melissa, if you want to say anything about the experience of reading the surveys. Yeah.
And that's actually one of the most profound parts of the experience, in my opinion, was to hear what people are feeling now, current students, former students, and knowing the history of the district as it continues to evolve on many levels. Also being in the committee with parents, people who are really bringing these stories, you know, to you know, the gathering. And I want to thank everyone who attended. It was wonderful to get to know everyone in the context of what are your hopes for the district, and also in the context of where do you feel it is not, we're not, you know, getting it done. Particularly for me as a parent, I found the students' comments to be very important in my assessment of what should we be looking at and what trends are coming out, and we need to listen to those. And everyone in that room was very much geared towards getting down to the particulars so that we could address them. And I do certainly understand your comment where we say so many things and we make beautiful, you know, sheets and things like that. But this was really a wonderful, functional committee that brought the voices of people who would not have been heard if we had not sent out that survey, people who had not been heard in years because they were alumni, former students, or parents who'd had an experience or a community member. So again, it was a pleasure, and it was a really wonderful experience to look back, because I haven't been in the area that long, so I can look back with their perception of, you know, what things were. Again, you know, I think that a lot of really great working, concise concepts came from it, and I think that is very much the goal, because certainly there is a lot to do. But those things are highly important, and I think they can go right up there with all the other many things that the district has to prioritize. And you mentioned safety, feeling of comfort, feeling of acceptance, those things being expressed by students and former students really hit home, I think, with everyone. So again, thank you. It was a great committee to be on.
Yeah. No, I liked how we were able to review and kind of get in the weeds a little bit within our own groups. So each group took families of current students, and then we all shared out. So we each had a different constituent group. And it was interesting to see themes emerge from all the different groups that were similar themes coming out. And I think you're right, Stephanie. It really gave a voice to people who may not have been able to share their opinions and thoughts, able to do it. And then it was us as a committee that needed to look at it and really determine, okay, how are we going to turn this into some goals for us? So yeah.
Yeah, great. So speaking of themes, so Albert had us out there with Post-its and note-taking paper and highlighters going through all these survey responses. I really appreciate his leadership and how we managed this and what he did. So he's listening, he's taking all these huge pieces of paper. He then, for us, said, you know what? I think these are, I think there's 6 big topics that are coming out, and you have them up on that screen. There's a lot of stuff about the student experience, positive and negative, about the school community, about curriculum, arts and athletics, leadership, and facilities. So that was an action that he listened, and I felt like he was authentic and respectful, and he wasn't making stuff up, but he moved us. And so he said, listen, these are the 6 big categories of themes that come out, and now I'm going to share with you the topics. We could pass those that way, and I'm going to put this up on the screen. Then what Albert did, so that we can share, with the community, and yes, it would have been far better if we had, midwinter shared this, but school happened, and so we're doing it kind of at this stage. I learned from Albert on this one. Rather than saying X number of people mentioned this word, X number of people, he said, no, you know what? These are the topics, these 6 topics, and within each topic there are themes. And he took everything and said, you know what? What I'm hearing from the community is this is what they want from their schools based on the survey responses. So I'll give an example. For the student experience, 2 big themes came through. We want schools that are welcoming and safe, shared learning spaces where students, staff, and families experience belonging and engage in problem solving and restorative practices to support a culture of kindness. That's big. But that came through. And it came through sometimes when people said something that you'd look at and say, ooh, that's negative. That's fine. And some people said, gosh, these schools. What became clear was that is what folks want from Pioneer. And in terms of the student experience, what came through from the surveys was that our students' social emotional wellness is supported by clear behavioral expectations and a framework for social emotional learning. Right? So for each of those 6 topics, there were multiple themes that came through. Curriculum, all curricular offerings, and that's all, not some of them, promote rigor, critical thinking, and student voice. That came through in survey respondents' feedback. They want kids to have vibrant. Vibrant was a term that came up multiple times. Arts and athletics, leadership. They want all of us collaborating to create an environment in which all the kids thrive. And they want leadership to engage with all school constituencies. Specifically, to foster trust, to empower employees and students, and to shape school vision. Right, like that, those were, and our facilities. The community clearly wants state-of-the-art facilities that are adequately resourced and maintained.
So this list, just to kind of reiterate and clarify, these are things that our survey said they want, not to, and that doesn't mean that we're not already doing these things, but that we are reinforcing and improving on these. So I don't want people to think, for curriculum, all curricular offerings promote rigor, critical thinking, and student voice. And people be like, I'm not so sure. No, that's going to be our goal from this. So
I think those statements actually say that they understand those are important, so they see evidence of that and want it to continue and strengthen.
Yes.
That's what I get back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not the opposite.
Yep.
What I mean?
Yep.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking you through the process, right? So last fall we do this big community survey. We take it so seriously. So the team is reading this. Admin team does the exact same thing as the planning team, and we had a few members of admin team on the planning team, so they did it twice. We go through that. We looked at some. So that's a huge source of information for us to think about as we eventually try to draft the objectives for the plan. We looked at some data, and we thought a lot about what kinds of data. We settled on 3 data sets. The first data set that we looked at, and I'm not going to do everything, but I'm going to show you highlights, was, do you remember 2 years ago, the American Institute for Research, at the behest of DESE, came in, they sent a team to Pioneer, and they observed in 50 classrooms. And they published a district review report in 2024. Yeah, we present. So we looked at that report and the major findings of that report. And we wanted to look at student academic outcomes. Y'all know I'm not a huge fan of MCAS, but it's one of our major data sets that is external to the district, right? So we looked at MCAS data relating to literacy and MCAS data related to proficiency in math. Okay, I'm going to take you through the AIR report. There's a huge, there's a great finding in here, and we have talked about this at this table, but I'm going to review it. So they send this team out to go into 50 of our classrooms, pre-K through 12, over a series of days. They're also meeting with groups of people, teachers, kids, families, blah, blah. Okay. When they go in the classrooms, they rate the classrooms numerically in 2 different areas. Essentially, what's the vibe? What is the feeling, the cultural, the emotional tenor of the classroom? And what is happening intellectually and academically in the classroom? Right there, it's 2 main categories of, here it is, culture and environment and instructional support. The really important finding is that overall, when they went into our classrooms, and these are trained observers, and they do this across the state, every district has to go through this, we looked really good. Our classrooms generally, the vibe, the culture was good. Kids seemed safe, positive, particularly in K through 5. You know where we did not look as good? What they call analysis and inquiry and quality of feedback. So for culture, I'm just going to show it to you quickly. I made up these colors. This is that culture and environment, sort of the vibe. See that, all that nice green? Yeah, that's what we want, right? Those are very high scores for these different positive climate, teacher sensitivity, and in the report they have detailed explanations for what each of these means. K through 5, almost everything is green except for 1, and that's still not a bad score. It would be red if it were a bad score. 6 through 8, not quite as strong. Negative climate, you actually want a nice high score for negative climate. It's counterintuitive, but you want that. That's good. All right, so good. Look at instructional support. We did not have any aggregate scores that would have put us into a green for any of the categories of data related to instructional support. We did better K through 5, but we had some pinks there in 6 through 12. And those pink areas are analysis and inquiry and quality of feedback. Quality of feedback relates to student Martin gives me an answer. Am I responding to student Martin in a way that requires he extend his thinking? Am I requiring that he grapple a bit more with that? Give me, I'm not patting you on the head intellectually. No pap here. Like, no, give it to me. I want it. Like, come on, we're gonna deepen this inquiry. We didn't look so good there. So the big finding from the AIR DESE report from 2 years ago is the classroom vibes are good overall. We need to do more. We need to pitch things at a higher intellectual level, and we need to improve the way we speak with kids and the type of feedback we give. We have to push them more. We need to ask things differently. Okay.
I
So
dare say you'd find that across the spectrum. That's the case.
and all of these
That's
sure.
the big harangue on public education. That's not doing in that regard. We can make it all comfortable for everybody, maybe too comfortable.
Yeah.
So they don't feel challenged, to strive intellectually, to maybe read, a book that they should be able to read.
Yep.
I see my granddaughter; she's still reading. At 11 years old now, I was reading the classics when I was 11 years old. I go to the library, get 3 or 4 books a week. I say, hey, read a book without pictures, without graphics in it. Forget it. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on at school that they're not challenging kids. And I think that's an important consideration. It starts there. If we're not moving kids along 3, 4, 5, those grades, they're not going to be even close to ready in the 9th grade. When they're not going to college,
Yeah.
or not going to be ready.
So we're going to work on it.
Yeah, I
We're
just
gonna,
say,
let's develop, let's have a, please vote on a strategic plan that has us, this is the best work. This is the best work. How we improve the student-educator interaction in the classroom. That's where it's at. So we came up with a problem statement. The data suggest that instructional practices should include intentional engagement with higher order thinking and meaningful feedback. Was that? Right? Okay. So that's one thing. I'm going to give just an overview. In terms of literacy, you know what? Reading, as measured by MCAS, for 6 years, 21 to 25, student scores, grades 3 through 10, in the reading subtest, they were near the state average. I'm not stressing out what, that's not the place. That is not the place to go. Writing, as measured by MCAS. Same years, 21 to 25. Student scores 3 through 10 in the writing subtests were significantly below the state average. Perhaps that is a place for us to look. There is a little graph. These are the kids in grades 3 through 6. The state is the average, the percent of correct scores, because there are different measures. That's the state, that's Pioneer. We don't like that. We should be above the state average. We are coherent, supportive district. Our kids should score above, we should be above the state average. We have the resources. Okay.
the state average isn't anything to speak to. Does it speak up?
We should be above the state average.
I mean, I think that's the real problem to begin with, is that we're accepting of the state average and referring to it when that's barely above 50%. That's, to me.
Let's start by getting ourselves above the state average.
Yeah, I know, but
Yep. Okay.
That's the hard battle as an individual, as a district, that you're in a statewide program that's not providing enough money. And we're talking about quality of teachers. Can you hire those? Do you have the ability to do that?
That is actually one of our areas of strength, Frank.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. We attract teachers. Teachers leave other districts to come to Pioneer.
Quality of living here.
And we've improved our pay, and we've developed a nice reputation for our workplace environment. So last year, on average, last year we hired 9 new educators. One of them was a novice teacher. The other 8 had on average at least 10 years of experience. Nobody else has a hiring record. I worked and nobody else has a record like that. When we go through the personnel update, I'll give a preview of some of our new hires.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So in writing, this is the scores for kids 7 through 10. Closer in 2022, but in general, Pioneer should do better than the state, right? We are not in crisis. So pretty easy problem statement. The data indicate we need to improve our writing instruction. That's where the money is. Improve instruction, and kids will do better. Okay. Math, student scores in grade 10 for those same years, 2021-25, we're close to or above the state average. So we didn't think as a team math was that place to go, also because you approved new curriculum in math, and we've spent the past couple of years in the elementary level with PD in math, so we anticipate that our MCAS scores for this past year, for instance, will go up. So going backwards, we saw that American Institute for Research report that said, nice vibe, you gotta have more rigor, higher better feedback. These kids need to be thinking harder, more, better. Okay. Reading, doing okay. Math, doing okay, could be better. Writing has to improve tremendously. Now, okay. So here's where we landed. We landed with 3 possible strategic objectives. From all that, from the survey results, from looking at these data sets, and this was a I don't know if I would say iterative. At some point it was, but it was the planning team would meet, chomp, consider, kick it back to the administrative team. We would meet with that, chomp, kick it back to the planning team, chomp. Okay, so I guess that is iterative. Okay. What about 3 objectives? One of them, straight up core academics, improve academic achievement in writing. The data suggests that this would be important. In addition, there is the scourge of AI and writing. We make this one of our strategic objectives for the next 5 years. It forces our hand. We have got to be grappling with the teachers. The kids have got to write in school in front of you. Teachers, you've got to write in front of kids. Kids, it can't all be assigned at home. Kids, let's get some composition books. Let's write at school. We should be reading more at school. We will be writing. And I can tell you, as a former elementary educator, I came to believe that excellent instruction in writing was one of my most powerful levers to teach little kids how to read. Because when they are writing stuff, and I'm sure you all know that up in Warwick because you do that, like all the nice outdoor stuff. And when kids are desperate to get down on paper what matters to them, they are working hard at that, and that then becomes the material, like core material for their reading. So let's do a core, hardcore writing, academics, everybody. And what we do in pre-K is going to influence the MCAS scores in grade 3 and up. So, second one. This one, let's focus on Pioneer. Now, everything that happens in the elementaries, let's focus on Pioneer, and let's expand opportunities here, because that's what the families are telling us. They want more for their kids here. You've heard it. They want more honors classes. They want more career stuff. They want more project stuff. They want more hands-on stuff. So we'll talk about that. And lastly, let's deepen, expand, strengthen our relationships with the community, the broader community, our Pioneer community, and let's strengthen relationships among our buildings, right? So the proposal is, and Frank, we're going to talk about them, straight up academic objective writing, kind of programmatic with academics at Pioneer, because you'll see embedded in the expanding opportunities is, when we create these career-based opportunities and project-based opportunities, they've got to involve increased rigor, and we've got to do this intentional feedback, better feedback. And then the community stuff, we want this community to know what's happening at Pioneer. We want folks talking with us. We want folks in the building. We want our kids going out. We want a better flow of communication. Okay, so number one, a little bit more in depth now. Here's an outcome for improved academic achievement in writing. By 2031, average student scores on the MCAS ELA, now I'm going to read it, but then I'll explain. ELA extended responses in grade 3 through 5 and essay subtests in 6 through 10 will exceed the state average. Until May, that it would have said essays in 3 through 10, but in May, the state announced they're not going to do essays in 3 through 5 anymore. They're going to do what they call extended responses. Okay, fine, we can pivot. But by 2031, on MCAS, an external measure, like it, don't like it, it's an external measure. We look against the state. We should be above the state average. Okay? All right. Proposed outcome number 2. This is expanded opportunities at Pioneer. By 2031, all students in grades 7 through 12 will have access every single year to project-based and career-based learning opportunities that promote rigor, higher order thinking, and student voice. So not some of the kids, this is special ed, this is the multilingual learners, this is the big kids, the younger kids, the kids, everybody. Every kid every year has to have access to project-based and career-based opportunities, and they have to be high-quality ones, meaning they have to promote rigor, higher order thinking, and student voice. Right? And we're going to have the third one now. Strengthen communications and community partnerships. By 2031, the district has strong and flourishing connections among students, families, staff, and the wider community. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to give you, I think this is my last piece of paper for tonight. What's that? No, this is, wait, we'll put this up on the website tomorrow. It's all good.
Quick,
Yeah.
maybe alumni should be on that.
Oh, yep, thank you. Slide 23, thank you. Okay. So I'm taking you on a little, this is a bit of a long story. Thank you for previewing it, saying long awaited, because it's a long story. Good thing it was a light agenda. All right, and So, we're going to keep talking. This is my last piece of paper. You're going to talk and give feedback, and then at the August meeting, we'll come with a nice draft plan that is mapped out. So, on this piece of paper, Sharon, let me get you a link. Here we go. I'm going to make it big. Sharon, can you see something that says outcome number 1, core academic achievement writing? Oh, it looks like, yeah, okay, great. So this doesn't have the specific measures. This doesn't have the timeline. Like this year, we're going to do that. I'm actually going to recommend that the strategic plan itself be as bare bones as possible. And that the details about specific things we're going to do reside in the annual plans, the annual action plan.
Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
Okay, so bare, like a one piece of paper. We're going to come out with one piece of paper. That this is our plan. This is what we're going to do.
So a yearly plan that speaks to the.
Yearly, who's going to do what? When are they going to do it?
That's cool.
How are we going to know what you're going to bring to
I like
us?
that.
All right. So this core academic achievement in writing, this was really fun to do. We fleshed this out with the administrative team. So we have to have curriculum, and we do not have good enough curriculum in writing at all grades. So, I mean, we're going basic. Like, okay, we got to look at our curriculum, and we got to figure out what we're doing over the next 5 years. We got to get good curriculum into the hands of teachers, right? And all those teachers need good professional development, right? Irene Fountas would always say, teachers teach from what they understand. I've adapted that to administrators administrate from what they understand. If I don't have deep enough understandings in a financial area, I can't do a good job administrating it. Our educators need and deserve excellent ongoing PD. How the heck do you teach kids how to write? Most people have never had good training in it. Most people have never had superlative training. And boy, does it change. I was lucky in Boston. I've said it to you. I was a teacher in Boston at a time when they were pouring money into teachers. And I happened to be in the right schools in the right years to participate in multi-year PD. I mean, I could teach those little kindergartners how to write anything. It was so much fun. And that translates into teaching anybody how to, okay. Assessment. How are we going to know internally how the kids are doing in writing? We can't rely on MCAS. That's a once-a-year thing, and forget that. We need an internal assessment program that teachers can use all the time. And they need professional. How are we going to know how the kids are doing? Because as the Literacy and Numeracy Secretariat of the Ministry of Education in Ontario, when I die and go to heaven, I'm going to be like a member of the Literacy and Numeracy Secretariat of the Ministry of Education in the province of Ontario. They say, the purpose of assessment is to improve instruction. It is not to sort and rank schools. It is not to put gold stickers on nice little children. The purpose of assessment is to improve instruction. We need to adopt that as our mantra. Our process of assessing students should deepen teachers' understandings of how students think and learn, and it should let them improve instruction tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah. When I do my little thing that I'm doing with just 4 of the kids today, I know better tomorrow how I'm going to teach them so that their writing will improve. So we need a curriculum, we need PD, we need a nice assessment program. Not fancy, nothing fancy. Intervention. For the students who are not developing as we would expect and hope, what are we doing? How are we intervening respectfully and effectively so that all children, all students write well? Right? So this is like the meatiest stuff. If we can tackle this over 5 years and make progress, this district improves, student outcomes improve, teachers are happier, kids are happier, we see it, and my goodness, my God, if we could do this in the age of AI, if we can be the bulwark against the degradation of intellectual activity in the classroom, go ahead.
I would put that remark about AI in the policy itself.
Yep.
Strategic planning, because otherwise everything has to be pressure tested, stress tested as to how AI will become involved. So thank you for that. responsibility. Is there a strong enough curricular plan that can go K-12? Because what I'm reading here is that each level will have a new curriculum in writing. But could we just ask that they sort of play well together?
That, yeah, that absolutely. And there's, I didn't know, I thought you were like, no,
Sorry.
there's not going to be one curriculum. No, we got to do that. It's not going to work if we don't do that. Thank you. Yes, it's got to go like this. The experience across the elementary schools must be consistent. Every school gets to have their own flavor, but nah. You're in third grade there, third grade here. You are getting similar, I'm right back to you, I'm sorry. Similarly high quality experience. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Just saying, because the Atlantic has an article in their, like last week's edition, The End of Reading is Here, that came out almost at the same time as an article from a professor at Brown. Anyone read this one? Where he decided finally, post-COVID, I'm going to let the kids do a take-home exam. Average score was something like 96. He's like, yeah, no, Did the final and said, if the average on the final is pretty similar to that, everyone's score is going to count. If not, there's an issue. Like the average score, I'm making it up, something like 46.
It was really bad.
It was
a
so
huge discrepancy.
bad.
When they had to write the paper
in
the
school.
classroom.
Yeah.
Without AI.
Oh, sure.
We raise an interesting concept, which is that educators are pushing back against kind of like a frivolous use or a non-constructive use of AI, and I'm just positive, and I can't tell you where, but I'm positive there are grants available for responsible use of AI in education and things like that, and that may be something, I don't know who looks into that for us, but it may be something that we want to look into as we implement that, because that's the flip side of what you're saying is we need to have better writing skills. We need to be able to write in person, and of course that's constructive thinking, and we use that everywhere in life. So that might be an option that we could.
Yeah, no, we have to tackle it. We have to tackle it. It is here. And I'm not willing to outsource my writing. I'm going to be frank. I don't outsource my writing. Everything you get from me, I don't use AI. I don't. And I've told the team, please don't bring it to me, because I don't want to be your guinea pig. Sorry. I mean, they all know it. Like, I don't want to be your guinea pig for your use of AI. I don't have the time. Bring me your thinking, please. So, okay.
So these goals also, like these outcomes that we're talking about, not only is it going to drive professional development and curriculum, but it also has an impact on our budget, right? And so this is part of when we invest in certain things, this is going to help us also determine where our money
That's
is
right.
going to
That
within
is
a budget.
absolutely right.
So, when I see these things like new curriculum, and I'm like,
Same.
Some.
To a degree,
Some.
to
Yeah,
a degree,
we-
right? But I think there needs to be an investment that if we go to the towns, right, and they're seeing a large number somewhere for curriculum or something, we have the strategic plan that is validate and backing up what we're doing. And so it's just part of the puzzle is all I'm
Yep.
Yeah,
calling that.
it's good support documentation for sure, but again, I think the one key aspect of how good is your community relations? What's the trust level? What are that? And how well are they understanding what you're talking about? And if that process hasn't been happening right along, then when you once a year to ask for money, it ain't happening.
That's right.
You can talk till you're blue in the face, and
Yep.
it's just not
For
the
sure.
one thing they know. This is costing us a lot of money, and we're not supporting that.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
so the reality of things like this comes down to more than not is can you afford it?
Right.
And that's why people are talking about regionalization as saving money, whether it does or not, I have no idea. But this whole and those are the concerns that sort of get in the way of really process that we should be all involved in as educators.
Yeah.
So I find it kind of, anyway, sad.
I'll go number 2.
Yeah.
So number 2 and 3 are not as fleshed out. Okay. The expanded opportunities at Pioneer. Okay. This is where we want all kids every year to have access to career-based and project-based. Now, remember we talked about, we had 5 draft strategic objectives in an earlier version. We hadn't brought it to you yet. There were two that we didn't bring forward. One was about environmental and outdoor education. I have thought the entire time I've been here that when we had a strategic plan, that would be one of the things. And we're not bringing it to you for a number of really some surprising reasons. Well, one is we're already doing a decent job with that. We're already getting the kids outside. We're doing stuff. Yes, we should continue doing it more. And it is not where the kids at Pioneer are. It's not what they're asking for. They're asking for more other career-based opportunities. And so this is one where the admin team, I have to bring that poster with the dots.
Mm-hmm.
The admin team said, we can't have 5. We don't have capacity. Let's pick 3. And almost unanimously, these are the 3 we picked. So environmental ed, outdoor ed was one of them. And the other was kind of a warm and welcoming school environment. And again, with that one, the feeling was, you know what? We're already doing okay there. We have to work. Like, that's a constant. You always have to work on that. And the AIR report said, actually, you look pretty good. We have to fix some stuff, but we took those 2 out. All right. So for Pioneer, what we're proposing is, okay, first thing is to take a look. What have we got going on in our program of studies that currently either does provide a career-based opportunity or a project-based opportunity? And where's their low-hanging fruit? Where would it be pretty easy to build in more of that? Okay. Then we give PD to our teachers so that they understand, okay, I do this social studies unit. We have this social studies topic in grade 9. How can I build in something about careers? How can I connect with someone outside? How do we do an internship? Blah, blah, blah. And then how do we expand those? How do we design new courses, right? What happens? And then in general, for this intellectual inquiry and rigor, everybody in the building needs PD for how to increase rigor and promote higher order thinking. And those aren't add-ons. That's rethinking how one engages with a learner. How do we increase student voice in academic and non-academic settings, right? How do we help our kids feel, because it's real, that they have a say in what's going on, an appropriate level of say, right? And how do we create and or modify project-based learning modules? Now, that could be in itself a strategic objective for a district. The whole world of project-based learning, and there are fantastic national organizations that we could bring. It costs a little money, but there are people we could bring in, there's grants we can look for that help teachers learn how to build project-based units, how to build them, how to teach them. So that's our second proposed objective. Let's improve things here at Pioneer. And then thirdly, it's about the community, right? How do we make sure that all our families, how do we make sure that our alumni, how do we make sure that town taxpayers, town residents who don't have a connection currently with the schools know what the heck is going on here? How are we sharing information out? And equally importantly, the second, how are we improving and increasing the flow of information from the community into the schools? What are we doing so that people and info coming in and going out? And community service. So let's increase opportunities for kids and staff to be of service in our towns. And similarly, we have so many I run into people all the time who say, I could help. How do we systematically increase coherent opportunities for folks in our towns to serve, to feel so good to give, to be of service to Pioneer, to help our kids? And so, core academic writing, increase opportunities here, project-based learning, career-based learning, and all of it pitched really high with some student voice, and community. We don't want to be in a situation, Frank, like you've mentioned, where, folks feel like it's a once a year. No. How are we serving our town residents, and how are they connecting and feeling good and understanding plan? So those are the 3 proposed strategic objectives. More details when we come back, but I'm dying to hear what you think in general about kind of the spread of those 3 proposed objectives.
I like it. I just keeping it basic to start with, the strategic plan, so people understand that, and then what you've done is put some muscle in there that looks like that something you can speak to with a yearly plan. I mean, again, it's following that. You have something to work from that now you can follow through with and attach some meaningful projects to it. That's really what you need to do.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
The last one that we discussed was, I thought, really beautiful to see come out of the surveys, which is so many community members and students alike that were interested in going out into the community and doing something. We have great employers. We have, different opportunities for them to observe all forms of local government and what makes a small town work. I mean, I think we learn more about that all the time. It's amazing. So I thought that was really beautiful because we have a community that is very eager to see our up and coming citizens, and what type of students we have here. And that's really great. I was thrown off by that, not because I didn't think it was a great idea. I just was surprised with how many people were interested. And that may mean that, we develop some kind of, partnerships where businesses are, really, really coming to Career Day or offering, a walkthrough or things like that. But that kind of an investment in our young people who are entering a very interesting workforce, where it's difficult to say what that exact path to success is, in a community where we have several options for, high school. I think it's brilliant. So that part is great. And really, I think the supporting documentation is that we scored below the state average on writing. Needs fixed. It makes total sense. So they're all, I think, doable, certainly in the time frame. And I have every confidence that you'll show us steps towards that within the next year and what you're looking to do. So thank you. This is great. And again, thank you to everyone in the committee. It was really wonderful to hear the community come forward, to meet the faculty and the staff that were there. And there's just a lot of enthusiasm and pride from people who've come back here, who used to go to school here, people whose kids are here now, and that's a big deal. So yes, sounds great.
Yep, Sharon?
I think this sounds like a solid plan to improve the educational process at Pioneer. I mean, we've proven that we have a pretty good educational process now by looking at the graduates from this year. Even though it's a low number, they were outstanding. And that has something to say about the students themselves, but our educational process, even in small numbers. But I really like this plan.
Thank you.
I just just want to appreciate the process and the commitment, and sounds like it was a whole lot of work, and that you were able to distill it down to these 3 objectives, I think is really amazing and wonderful. And just as you said earlier, I mean, this being our focus doesn't mean there aren't other things that we'll be working on or that need improvement. I think you really distilled it down to the 3 areas that are weakest and that need the most attention. And I think it's great that you used some of the data to determine which academic area building on what we already have in terms of offering opportunities and growing those opportunities that students have, and then also just strengthening those community relationships. I think those are great goals and things that I am just lots of thoughts about how we can move forward with that and how we can use that to build our goals and on down to educator goals and students' goals. So.
I don't want to, go ahead, you ready? Yeah.
Thank you for this very thoughtful and plan, and also to all the members who contributed to it in the community. And to find that our general themes is really its own sort of important outcome. I think it strikes me that in focusing on these particular areas, in some cases, something else is going to have to go, like the surplus things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just ask, how we would evaluate if we're doing more writing, are we doing something less of something? And if so, is it the right thing to be less of? So, a plan like this that's ambitious can't just be added on top of everything else. So just a thought. It's not.
I think there's an
That
easy
is,
answer.
that is, that is one of the, whoa, what's the plural of crux? People.
Cruxes.
Yeah, the crux side.
That, you can say that is a crux.
Yes, yeah. So here's like a little something. Right, it can't just be layered on. We have to be smart about it. We've been talking in the admin team, my goals, as you mentioned, should absolutely build from whatever strategic plan you approve, I hope next month. My goals should absolutely build from it. I would then have the admin team's goals build from it. We may have the same goals. The principals are already talking about goals for the educator evaluation process that would relate if this is improved. Here's one small possible solution. At the elementary level, we have a veteran teacher who's been trying out a new writing. It's not really a curriculum. It is a set of instructional strategies being used in a bunch of places. And I'm going to use the word agnostic for the second time tonight. It is agnostic as to curriculum content. So it's a set of strategies that this one of our veteran teachers, so good. She has to meet with me. She showed me everything. I was like, oh, that's those writing strategies and the process can be used in science, can be used in social studies.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the time I
Well
left
said.
elementary school, I was convinced that about 75-80% of writing instruction at the elementary grades should be in nonfiction. It should not be, oh my God, the kids can't invent enough. Like, don't do that. It is so hard to support children's fiction writing in the elementary. It's really, really hard. But if we build our writing from, hey, we have all tapped
Every
the maple
class.
trees.
Every class has writing. Math,
We've all
science.
tapped, we all know like spile, all the words, we all know them, and they're up on the walls, and we've talked, And then if we're using this set of instructional strategies for writing that this one, so I hear you, and please keep reminding us, because yes, stuff has to go.
But I agree though that there's no reason. I've seen that strategy used where if it's a science class, explain that process, that scientific process in writing, in your own words, using your analysis, your thinking, and put it in words. Can you do that? Hardest thing to do. But once you start, again, and you can do that for any subject, really. So if you're building writing in every class, in every specific class, then you don't have to invent a pure writing class necessarily as you go along. You don't need a standalone writing class per se, because you've got everybody else incorporating those same standards and those same, writing standards that you want to employ to get kids to, when they think, they write, or they can write, they think, and that type of thing. And I think that's, now you've got every teacher on board, and that's what you really want, right? You want, and so they understand, and that's what they demand. They demand that level of response. How do you put those feelings, whatever it might be, into words? I think that's great.
Yeah, go ahead, Diana.
I just want to say, first of all, that I'm really impressed. So, beyond the thank yous, I would really like all of you to know that I'm very impressed with the depth of the work that you've done and the way you've been able to use structure and large amounts of input together to come up with a quality plan going forward. Now, I was watching as you were going through, and I was thinking ahead, which meant perhaps there were other things I didn't listen to number 2 in terms of expanded opportunities. And in the context of where we are these days, in my own personal perspective, I think one of the strengths, I don't think it's a weakness necessarily, depending on how you approach it, one of the strengths is that our districts are small. You know, I'm the perfect one to say that I think that's being small can certainly be a strength. And I think that is even true at the high school level. If, and I think you've identified one of the areas for professional development. But one of your strengths is that if you're looking to bring that writing practice, that continuity through your whole staff, you know, so look at your strengths. And can you get your whole staff moving together in a way that somebody who's working with a much larger area would take years? You're not hampered by the size. Use it as a strength. And I would also say that once you can get that practice all moving together, I'm a strong believer in project-based learning because I think it can be injected even in small little bits everywhere that you have, particularly if you're small. So I think that those expanded opportunities that you're looking at in number 2, I think there are plenty of ways to start. And and I was thrilled to see you talking about it when I flipped the page over. You saw me flipping earlier. I was really happy to see that you're looking at your existing things and looking for ways to inject what your folks are looking for into what you've already got. I think that is very possible, particularly when you're strengthening your PD and your practice, and to bring it into those areas. I don't think for anything the size of Pioneer or for a school that's twice the size of Pioneer. You can't just keep, like you've been saying, in terms of resources and practicality, you can't be layering on other things. But I think you very much can inject them into what you've already got.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, I think one of the things I wanted to come away from with our objective or outcomes is, did our constituents feel heard? Are they somewhere in these outcomes? And there was such a heavy theme of project-based hands-on and academic rigor and community involvement and everything, that these outcomes really, for the most part, maybe somebody's thought was we needed to do better rigor in math, right? But what the data showed is we know we need to do better in math. We're working on that. We've got new curriculum. We're building that. But here's another area. And so what I really hope from this for our community to begin to expand upon our transparency and the trust and their understanding of what we're doing is we heard you and here are the outcomes. And I think really having Albert as our facilitator took the administrators out. It took the teachers out. Like it wasn't Patricia Kinsella. Right, that's what I was.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what I want to make really clear. This is not Superintendent Kinsella running this plan. It's not the teachers. It's not the loud community members. It was really a holistic approach to this, and I think that's what how we were able to even come to these 3 from all of the data that we went through is just beyond me. and something I feel really proud about, and something that with the 3, I can say to someone, here, this is what we're working on. Boom, 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 boom. This is what we're investing in. This is where we're growing. This is what we're moving to. So when people say, what's going on at Pioneer, right? I've got something that that we can lean back on, and is kind of a thread. I've thought of, if this gets adopted, to put something on the back of our name tags as a reminder for our outcomes, right? So like, I have a little reminder on the back of my tag. I have a little quote that's really important to me, that I keep. And so something that it's just always in our forefront of our mind and growing. Yeah.
As an extension of that, and not putting too much detail, as you mentioned, that would be it's constraining. As a community member, I could read this and have a sense of the community's involvement and planning. Not to force anything, but it might be worth coming up with some examples.
Yeah.
For example, could a student write a letter that's to a community organization, and you're hearing student voice, and you're having writing, and you're involving the community? I think some specific examples, not that they're beholden to them, but might put some perspective on what this idea is.
Yeah. This is a super interesting design problem to solve. What a strategic plan actually looks like. I don't know, maybe in the past 10 years, I think the new superintendent induction program, probably 15 years, they've had this standard template for a district strategic plan that everybody was using. I didn't like it at all. It has this theory of action, vision, and then kind of wordy. And it's so easy to like, and some of this will be about your meeting hygiene, right? You all have to make sure the strategic plan is coming out all the time. I worked in one district, Canton. We hauled that thing out all the time. It really did drive everything. So it's a design problem. What is the one pager that where we can say, for the next 5 years, we're working really on writing, expanding learning opportunities at Pioneer and our community, like, what's the one pager? What is the website page where you can see the one pager, but you also see a sample when your action plan? And what is the place where you get in these examples? I love that idea of some examples to make this concrete. So between now and August 6th, there's going to be some designing happening to, because the form matters. So I'm thinking about it.
Can I add something? May I? Diana, thank you so much for saying that you're impressed. Because sitting on the administrative side of this and getting feedback from the committee, and having Albert there running it, I was amazed at how intentional and thorough this was. It was great to read the feedback, and that we had the opportunity to hear from the community, and to get that information. This process has been long. I forgot that we did all these long ago. But I'm just really proud that it is so intentional for the kids. It's really great.
Thank you.
Good. So next step is next month, we will be voting on whether we want to adopt these outcomes as our strategic plan. Okay. Which leads us right into the next agenda item of school committee annual goals.
Oh, yeah, right.
Our summer retreat and self-evaluation, which I purposely held off on scheduling a summer retreat for our annual goals, since I wanted to base our annual goals on a strategic plan. But we need to vote on a strategic plan first for school committee to come out with some annual goals. So what I would like to do is I would like to propose a Saturday in September, October. I will send an email where people can kind of check what dates. I'm thinking of like a 9 a.m. to 2 with a 11:30 lunch break. And it would be an open meeting, but it would really be about the school committee coming up with our annual goals and coming up with a self-evaluation of how we feel we're doing as a committee, which is what we've done in the past in the summers, but I wanted to make it purposeful for us. So I just wanted to give everyone kind of a heads up that I'm going to be sending out an email about some dates to see when that would kind of work best for all of us. But I didn't want to waste time by getting our calendars out now. You know, so does anyone have any questions about that or? No?
That's
Okay.
great.
All right. So personnel update.
Oh, we want to do that now. Oh, hang on. Okay, okay. All right, what are we, am I in the wrong date? I'm in the wrong date. Yep, okay. We have a lot of open instructional assistant positions. I'm hopeful that there will be some movement in the next few weeks, but we have 9 open positions right now. Science teacher, there is a recommended candidate, someone with all kinds of experience. So I am interviewing, I do the final interviews, as you know. I'm interviewing that person tomorrow. With luck, we will have a highly experienced chemistry teacher on board. We have a candidate for the main office administrative assistant part-time position. That is that. Spanish teacher, we have a candidate we are offering the job to, a part-time. And again, we needed to hire a .4 person because so many kids are choosing to continue their education in Spanish. So it's great. Got someone, BCBA, we hired a young person who's got her license as a BCBA. You'll remember we started out last year with a BCBA who got a job in her hometown. Well, you can't beat that. Director of Student Services, you will be talking about Sarah Crawford's candidacy in executive session. District Treasurer, you have just approved. So that would be Education Finance Services, LLC. And do we have a candidate for the assistant?
We have interviews tomorrow.
Interviews for the CFCE, Coordinated Family Community Engagement. That is Ruby Henry. She does that work, and we need an assistant. I'll
Yes,
just
we
leave
do.
it at that.
Wes.
Ask a question. How many instructional assistants are there throughout this district?
Yeah, I got that number today. Let me see if I can remember it. Because I had to, we're going to talk about this next month. We're planning our PD for next year, and we are planning a whole series of really good professional development offerings with our instructional assistants, and we've posted a position to have several instructional assistants help design that year-long learning, and we're talking with the collaborative to hire 2 people to help run that for the whole year. There are, I think, 19 across the 2 elementary buildings, and there are 8 current hired instructional assistants here, and there are 3 openings here. How do you like that?
So when you say 19, is that for the elementary school?
The two elementary buildings.
And so there's 27 in total with
We've got some
3.
openings.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
About 30 people.
Yep.
Is this uncommon? Is this common to
Yes,
lose that
this
many?
is.
That's what I was trying to think.
Some of these have been open for almost the whole year.
Okay.
This is our workforce cohort with the most churn.
Okay. I'm not surprised, but I just wanted
Yep.
to get a sense of it. Yeah.
And our starting salary, Frank, for instructional assistants is the highest in the area.
Really?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Amongst all the other school
Yep,
districts?
the school committee really supported that during the last round of negotiations. Yes.
What is the starting salary for?
20.
I want to say like 2050.
Just so anyone listening
Yes,
Yes.
the number starts with a 2.
who
Starting
might want to
salary
come
starts
and
with 2,
apply.
$20
Yeah,
plus.
and
20
benefits, I
$20,050.
imagine.
Oh, no, $20 an hour.
$20 per hour?
Yes,
Oh,
20 per
okay.
hour.
$20.50.
In case anyone would like
Yes,
to
thank
apply.
you.
And I'm
Thank
assuming
you.
we get benefits and
Great
whatnot.
benefits.
Great benefits.
Yes.
Great
Good
benefits.
health insurance. The district pays 75%
Right.
of health insurance. We have a salary grid, and you can find that if you go to our district website. Go to the administration, go to human resources. The PVASP contract is linked there. You can see the salary grid. Your salary goes up inevitably every year for the first 13 years or so, and there are opportunities to make extra money depending upon your role.
Please spread the word. Yes.
And a great work environment.
And a
Right.
great work
A
environment.
wonderful work environment.
So we're in a good position for the opening of the year in terms of our teacher and administrative staffing. This is,
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, that sounds good.
Good. I know, we're not starting the
We're
year
not-
with
we're
an
not.
open math position or an open,
Right.
you know. Ooh. So, okay.
And it is in every district in the county.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I,
No,
because
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm aware of, like, all my grandkids are in different school districts, and everybody's having the same issue.
Yeah.
It's not
That's, you know, when we talk about getting kids involved in school and getting them to, I think motivation is the big thing. I mean, in other words, what sparks your interest? What is it that, you know, why do you want to come here and learn? What is it? It has to be something that turns your,
you're absolutely.
and I think, and not only the child, but also the parent and the community, in a sense, understanding how important education is. But we live in such a poor economic environment. The opportunities aren't as obvious and spectacular as, you know, everybody wants, you know, well, they all want to be whoever the current star is, or the big money maker, or whatever it is, and we just don't have that. So I'm kind of, I find it amusing when I hear, not amusing, but this individual came in tonight, Ms. Crawford, and she had circled the world, but then she comes back to hometown.
Yeah.
You know, she's, you know, and I was talking to your guidance counselor, and same thing with her.
Oh, Ms.
She's
Carney.
out
Yeah.
and about. Here she is coming back home and
Yeah.
realizing this is the place to be. And it's too bad. Well, I think it's good for kids to go out and find their
Yes.
thing. But I think we also need to say, hey, you got something great here. This is the best place in the world to live. You don't know that, but you will if you go anywhere else. But, you know, and so come on, get with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Yep.
lot. I don't know how you motivate.
Right.
You know, and I think
Right.
that would be the primary, you know, whatever you know, your list comes out with, or whatever it is. How is it that we get teachers to be motivated, to get children to be motivated, parents to get in the process? Okay, that's what I want to say.
Yeah,
That to me is key.
right. Yeah. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to go into executive session according to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, Director of Student Services. B, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation threatened by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, MIAA, if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. And Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the Teachers Association if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on bargaining position of the public body and the chair so declares, to return to open session.
So moved.
Okay, so we have Sharon who moved it, Stephanie who seconded it, and vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Stephen Martin, yes.
Karen Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes. Okay,
Great.
we will head, so we head into that room for executive session.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we don't know that you're service.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kind words, Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'll say.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, and welcome back. So I will entertain a motion to appoint Sarah Crawford as our new Director of Student Services and approve the contract as written.
So moved.
Sharon moved it, and
I will second.
Raina seconded, and so vote.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes. Okay. Two, I will accept a motion to approve the MOA with the PVREA for the Summer Credit Recovery Program.
So moved.
Second.
Perfect. And Stephanie?
Yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes.
And Melissa Gary, yes.
Wonderful,
Thank you. Okay. Other business? We have no other business.
My name's not on that.
Oh, it's not, Frank's not on there.
Just write it in.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I do,
And-
Melissa.
Yes, you do? Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Now, could a packet of tonight's meeting be mailed to me?
Yes.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay. And upcoming meetings, our next school committee meeting will be August 6th at 6 p.m. And then we have another one in August on the 20th at 6 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. And seconded? Okay.
Stephanie Arroyo, yes.
Raina Dastu, yes.
Frank Ribeiro, yes.
And
Fontaine, yes.
Sharon Fontaine, yes. And Melissa Gary, yes. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night,
Bye,
everyone.
y'all.
She's in my contacts.
Bye.
if you wanna
Thanks,
call her.
Sharon.